"You're fired,"
said my younger boss, Director Smith. Ever since he became the director, he's been harassing me. And now, he's finally told me I'm fired.
Understood,
I replied calmly, and as I was leaving the company, suddenly a number of luxury cars appeared. Then, one of the car windows rolled down, and the person inside was. My name is Sam Williams, a 50-year-old office worker. Though my name might sound like I belong in a black costume in a period drama, I'm just an average middle-aged office worker. But according to my grandpa, our ancestors once served as ninjas under the shogunate. As a family tradition, I was raised by my grandpa in the countryside, separated from my parents from a young age. While attending school, I received training on how to be a descendant of the Williams family from my grandpa. Our family's teachings emphasized living a modest life, respecting others, and mastering how to interact with people. Furthermore, I was taken to the mountains for what seemed like training. But it was nothing like throwing shurikens or using mysterious techniques as seen on TV or in movies. In today's world, such combat skills are unnecessary. I ran through the mountains to strengthen my body and endured waterfall training to fortify my mind. It was more akin to the ascetic practices of monks rather than military training. That I was training was, of course, a secret, and as a child, I couldn't play with friends after school or on holidays. At the time, it felt tough, but now I am grateful to my grandpa, because it made me stronger as a person. Being raised in such a special environment taught me that human qualities are more important than just being smart. Human qualities start with having pride in oneself as a person. Then, building good relationships with those around you and engaging with society with a healthy mindset.
Your ancestors lived their lives risking everything for the world. You should inherit that spirit and work for society.
These were the last words my grandpa said to me before he passed away. After my grandpa's death, I returned to my parents' home before starting college, where I first learned what I needed to do.
You should study at the university and then join Tokugawa Holdings.
That's the path for the Williams family. But you're not getting any special treatment. Like everyone else, you'll graduate, go through the interview process, and join the company fair and square. Tokugawa Holdings is one of the leading corporations in Japan. Especially if one hopes to work at the headquarters, I hear that nothing but exceptional abilities will do. Getting a job isn't as easy as just being told to join. But I was equipped with a sense of duty ingrained by my grandpa, and I could sincerely accept that path. True to my grandpa's words, to live my life for the sake of this world. I studied hard with a spirit forged through discipline and got into a prestigious university. After graduating, I interviewed like everyone else and successfully joined Tokugawa Holdings. It might seem a bit grandiose to say a salaried worker like me is dedicating his life to the world. But over the 25 years I've worked at this large company, I've devoted myself wholeheartedly to it. Though my days were consumed by work, I persevered, keeping my late grandpa's words close to my heart. Always reminded to value relationships, I made sure not to clash with others and kept a spirit of harmony. Thanks to that, I've earned trust from everyone at the office, and even as a regular employee, the president has approached me.
Mr. Williams, how about this coming weekend?
The president asked while practicing his golf swing.
Of course, I'd be honored to join you.
I replied, while I may not be able to dedicate my life for the world as my ancestors did, I am certainly dedicating it to this company. However, recently, I've started to feel that such loyalty might be seen as outdated in today's world. This realization was sparked by these words thrown at me out of the blue.
I don't think for a second that just because someone has been at the company a long time means they're respectable.
Rather, if they haven't advanced and have stayed for decades, they're just leeching off the company. Incompetent old-timers will be mercilessly cut, so be prepared. During a welcome party at the office, I was suddenly called out and told this. Even though alcohol was involved, I was shocked by his words. His name is Tyler Smith, a young elite, just 27 years old, who became the director last month. After studying business at a prestigious American university, he joined this company. He was quickly given a managerial position because he's the president's nephew. And it seems the president plans to entrust the future of the company to him over his own son, due to his superior performance.
I have been ready to dedicate myself to the company since I joined, I said.
Then why are you still just a regular employee? It must be because you lack ambition.
He said, his face turning red with anger. I looked at Director Smith calmly, aiming to respond with dignity rather than intimidation or flattery.
My lack of promotion is because that's the role I have. I have never once thought of leeching off the company, I responded.
So, an incompetent role?
Director Smith asked, frowning. But I couldn't respond any further. I didn't think it was appropriate to say it at such an occasion. I had been targeted by Director Smith for downsizing. And since he had written me off, he started to harass me whenever he could. Initially, he would just create menial tasks for me. But as I started handling them with ease, he finally took actions that impacted my actual work.
Sorry, Williams is currently away from his desk. I will take the call instead.
That's what happened when I received calls from clients, and they wouldn't connect them to me.
Director Smith, was that call just now from the president of IGA Products? Wasn't he looking for me?
It wasn't anything important. Besides, I will handle it from now on. You stick to the menial tasks.
The harassment of not letting me meet with client representatives continued several times, forcing me to step back. It was an utterly unreasonable way to behave, and it was troubling our clients too. Yet, it seemed Director Smith wanted to drive me out no matter what. In life, it's inevitable to be disliked by certain people. Not making enemies is fundamental in human relationships. But trying to be liked by everyone is not advisable, my grandpa used to say. When it's time to be disliked, one must accept it and just be disliked. However, I won't be able to continue with my work in this case. I decided it was time to confront Director Smith and have a proper discussion, so I stood up. If I'm outdated and don't fit his younger perspective, it's not just my problem alone. In fact, there have been rumors that Director Smith takes away work from employees he deems incompetent and pressures them. As their representative, I need to stand up to this.
Director Smith, I understand you have your reasons, but what you are doing is tyrannical.
If you have complaints about us, please first tell us what exactly is wrong. There might be room for improvement, I said. Then he glared at me and said,
You wouldn't understand, old man.
I felt a strong animosity from his words.
I won't know unless you tell me. Please, let's have a conversation, I insisted.
Then, he laughed scornfully and said,
You're fired.
At that moment, I realized that further discussion was futile. He had no intention of having a conversation from the start.
Understood,
I said quietly, and bowed my head to Director Smith.
Well, aren't you understanding?
Director Smith said with a laugh, looking down at me.
I don't mind leaving, but please stop pressuring others.
Leading people isn't about behaving this way. I believe it's your duty to ensure everyone can work together and help each other. The smile then vanished from Director Smith's face.
What? You think you're better than me? You think you're the kind of person who can talk back to a superior?
No, I am not superior, but everyone has the right to express their opinion, I replied.
Then, I turned my back on Director Smith. Just then, the phone on my desk rang, and I heard his irritated voice answer it over my shoulder.
I'm sorry, but Williams is no longer with this company. I will handle it instead.
It seemed Director Smith already considered me fired. Although as just a director, he shouldn't be able to officially fire me. But I decided to leave the company there and then. I packed up my things from my desk and left the office. Then, a line of luxury cars appeared outside. Stunned by the sight, I watched as the lead car smoothly pulled up beside me.
Chairman, why are you here?
I blurted out as I saw his face through the window. It was our company's chairman driving the luxury car. Having stepped down from the CEO position 20 years ago, the now 80-year-old chairman, known for his incredible vitality, was enjoying his retirement. Especially passionate about cars, he owned several luxury vehicles and made daily driving a routine. I had been in the chairman's car a few times until recently, all of which were luxurious enough to buy a house.
Today's weather is nice, so I was touring with my grandchildren, he explained.
Looking over, I saw a line of luxury cars. The chairman has about 10 grandchildren, all of whom, I heard, run their own businesses. A lineage of excellence indeed.
Speaking of which, I just got a call from the president of IGA Products, saying you had left the company.
That can't be right, right? You are still in front of the company after all. The chairman chatted cheerfully. However, I answered with a puzzled look.
No, I was just fired.
What? The chairman exclaimed, surprised.
It's unimaginable that you would leave our company. After all, our families have an unbreakable bond.
But I was just told by Director Smith that I'm fired, I replied.
Director Smith? He asked.
Yes, the young man who recently became a director at our company. I heard he's the president's nephew, I explained.
Tyler, I thought he was still studying in America, but he's back already, so Tyler told you that you're fired.
I nodded solemnly. With a deep sigh, the chairman parked the car and got out.
Really, it seems like his parents never taught him manners. I'll go and sort this out,
he said, walking briskly, his vigor belying his age of 80. Watching him, I was reminded of my grandfather. I was shocked when I heard I'd be living with my grandfather, moving away from the city to the countryside. Which was daunting, and above all, my grandfather had a fearsome reputation. This was because all the stories my father told about him were filled with harrowing episodes.
I was once made to climb a cliff that could have been fatal if I fell.
With only a rope for safety, and I was left in the mountains to survive on my own. Being sent to live with someone who did such things to his own children, I was filled with anxiety from the start. I thought about taking the opportunity to run away. However, after living with my grandpa, I realized he wasn't just a scary person.
You possess endurance, a unique ability passed down through our ancestors,
he said, showing a lonely expression. I wanted to make him smile instead of my father. It seems I stayed through Grandpa's strict teachings and training not just out of a sense of duty, but for his smile. His usually stern face occasionally showed a kind expression, which I really liked. As the chairman and I approached the president's office, we could hear the president yelling from inside.
You fired Williams. What are you doing acting on your own? You shouldn't have the authority to do that.
Uncle, he has no ambition and is useless. Are you planning to keep him in the company just because other employees like him?
Director Smith's voice could also be heard. It seemed that my firing had either been discovered quickly or he had proudly reported it himself to the president. Either way, the president seemed furious with Director Smith. The chairman and I exchanged glances and then entered the president's office.
Sorry to intrude while you're busy, we said.
Saying this, the chairman opened the door, and I followed, saying, "Excuse me," as I appeared behind him. Upon seeing the chairman, the president stood up in surprise.
What? My father-in-law? No, Chairman,
What brings you here?
As the president is a son-in-law who married into the Tokugawa family, he especially feels subordinate to the chairman.
Well, I heard from the president of IGA Products that Mr. Williams had left the company, and I was surprised.
When I came to the company, I just happened to meet Mr. Williams at the entrance. I thought it was a misunderstanding, but I'm shocked to learn he really was fired. What's going on here? The president turned pale upon the chairman's questioning.
Well, that's because
Director Smith interjected.
Mr. Williams was incompetent, so I fired him.
How could someone remain a regular employee until 50? What has he been doing all this time? And why is this old man showing up with the chairman? Director Smith looked at me, puzzled.
Stop it, Tyler, you don't understand anything.
The president exclaimed, his face pale.
Is that so? You haven't explained the situation, have you, Tyler? Mr. Williams is far from incompetent.
In fact, it's because of his efforts behind the scenes that this company has survived.
Behind the scenes, what do you mean?
Director Smith cocked his head, puzzled, as he listened to the chairman's words.
This might come out of the blue, but actually, Mr. Williams's family are descendants of ninjas.
And since the White period, they have served the Tokugawa family, the chairman said.
A descendant of ninjas? What are you talking about? This isn't some kind of fantasy.
Clearly unable to hide his surprise, Director Smith stared intently at me. Indeed, being suddenly told about ninja ancestry is hard to grasp.
Normally, this would have been disclosed officially once he was named a successor of the company.
But now that this has happened, we had no choice. I never imagined you would fire Mr. Williams on your own, the chairman said with a wry smile as he looked at the president.
Even if he really is a descendant of ninjas, this man is incompetent.
He doesn't bring in more contracts than anyone else, nor does he try to compete. How does that contribute to the company's profits? We are paying him a salary, after all. Director Smith said, frowning and pointing at me.
Stop it, Tyler, that's no way to behave.
The president interjected, trying to admonish Director Smith in his panic. But it was the chairman who raised his voice sternly.
First, apologize for saying that you fired Mr. Williams on your own.
It was like a sharp sword had been swung down, an impact that even made me, who had been trained by my grandfather, straighten up instantly. Director Smith was taken aback by the force of the chairman's command, freezing momentarily.
Mr. Williams, I'm sorry.
He apologized as instructed. Seeing his fraught expression made me think he might be more honest than I had assumed. Perhaps he too wanted to improve the company by removing me and other regular employees, cutting what he saw as unnecessary personnel costs to increase profits is likely a fundamental principle. He learned it in his business studies.
Director Smith, I've said I am dedicated to the company.
That is true. I have never held back my abilities. It's just that much of my work was behind the scenes, making it hard to demonstrate clearly, I explained.
What do you mean by behind-the-scenes work? He asked.
That involves protecting the company from corporate spies who infiltrate it.
Tokugawa Holdings, being a major corporation directly linked to Japan's economy, naturally attracts foreign corporate spies. My true job was to identify and expel these spies, I revealed. Indeed, that's why I never made any enemies within the company. To be trusted by everyone and perceived as harmless, I had to perform my official duties just enough not to stand out. While this might make me appear incompetent to Director Smith, being perceived as such is also an important skill.
Taking Mr. Williams golfing each time is also part of a strategy.
He has a knack for gathering information from casual conversations. As a business strategy, it's crucial to probe for information from the other side. The president added while looking at me. Especially at golf tournaments where presidents from various companies gather, A lot of information gets exchanged.
I sent you to an American university because you were more talented than my own son, but that was just a part of it.
Running a company isn't as simple as that. I wanted you to learn this by working with Mr. Williams, but I never expected you to dislike him this much," the chairman said, causing the president to hang his head.
Tyler was an only child and was quite spoiled.
However, that also meant he had the freedom to learn in an unbounded environment. "Now, it's your job to guide him properly," the chairman told the president. I approached Director Smith, who seemed unable to accept this unexpected turn of events.
Director Smith, I hope to support you until the day you might take over as president.
"You can assign me menial tasks as before, but I hope you think of me as a teammate. You can rely on me as a dependable ally." Then, with a solemn look, Director Smith said,
I apologize for the harsh words I said without understanding anything. I look forward to working with you.
I felt like I could see a new light in his eyes. From then on, Director Smith stopped exerting pressure on other employees. He was not naturally affable, but he was serious. I hope that he will gradually build better relationships within the company. I am grateful to be able to work with such people now and in the future. Now, I finally understand the last words my grandfather said.
As a modern-day ninja, I dedicate my life to the people and society I care about.
With those words in mind, I continue to work diligently as a regular employee every day. 10 years have passed, and the news that Tyler Smith has become the youngest president in the history of Tokugawa Holdings stirred up the public. There was some debate within the company that it might be too soon, but I felt that it wasn't.
Mr. Williams, I look forward to working with you,
he said to me, bowing his head on the day of the presidential inauguration ceremony. Seeing him do that, the phrase "the heavier the ear of rice, the deeper it bows" came to mind.
I will follow you until the end of my days,
I responded, bowing to the same level as him. Feeling the joy of connecting eras,